Hey folks, Jonathan here. Okay, I was going to do some video last night, just an update, but it got dark on me before I could get set up, and I figured I'd do a little bit today. Done a little changing on the boiler this morning. We've got a fire going in it, and again, we had a little bit of temperature in the water. It's probably 120 degrees or so, so it won't take as long to get it up. And let me see. Alright, I added this on today. Okay, this pipe here goes over and just goes into the stack. It's a 1/2-inch pipe, and what I'm going to try to do was induce the draft a little bit. We'll see how that works out. Boiler's doing great. I just don't think that it's burning to its potential. It's not using nearly as much wood as you would think it would. And I think that's part of the deal is we're not producing as much as we could. Now that firebox is narrow, but it's 30-something inches long, so I can put long pieces in it like this. So you know, it's kind of deceptive to look at. Now I've still got to make my piece for the front. I'll leave the grate with the bottom up open because the way it's set up, you know, with the grate, it actually pulls the oxygen from the bottom, sort of like a coal burner. But okay, generator up and running, working. Finally figured it out. I was down at 60 volts, couldn't get my voltage up, and it turns out I had to adjust the brushes on the commutator. Was able to spin it, and you can actually arc from the field wire to the positive on the brush side and get it to make energy, but the problem is it's not adjustable. It just keeps making it to its maximum RPM potential. So that's where you got to have a rheostat. So we got a rheostat here, and pretty excited the generator to get it to start charging. Got our voltmeter here, and then we got a power wire coming out. So this was all just for testing, and I'm going to run it one more time and test a little bit more. And then everything gets mounted over onto our slate board and then gets put up on the wall, and everything gets wired in permanent. This is temporary, and you know, as long as this thing is not turning, there's no capacitors or anything, so there's going to be no power on anything whatsoever. And it scares some people to grab stuff, but I mean, you got to know for sure what you're doing when you're doing this. And this is all from, you know, what I've learned. But now when this thing's running, you know, don't want to put your fingers on anything that, you know, and you think before you move, and you don't want to do anything without putting thought into it first. So we're going to continue to get this boiler up and going, and then we'll fire this thing up, and I'll let you see it run and see how it does. All right, folks, I think I need to pull one of my tin caps off and clean out these flues, but it's actually our new setup here is going pretty good. You can hear it. And cut it back. And cut it up. 15 pounds. Burning good. It's not coming out the door like it was. So that's a good thing. It was flaming up before I was able to get that turned on, but I think a lot of it's got to do with my flues need cleaned out. There's 136 of them in that thing. So we're going to fire up here in just a minute. We just rolled everything up and put some steam oil in our lubricator, hydrostatic lubricator, displacement lubricator. So what happens is the steam goes in there, and the condensate, which is the water, when it turns back into water, actually floats the oil, and the oil comes into the engine, and it gets replaced in there with steam. That's the simplest way to put it. Or gets replaced in there with water. I'm sorry, not steam, but with water. So that's the simplest way to put it. Okay, so we're still building a little over 20 pounds, and this engine, believe it or not, will run on 10 pounds. It's amazed me, and it'll run at, you know, 350 RPMs at 10 pounds. So as you can see, I forgot and left my displacement lubricator turned on last night, so we've got plenty of oil on the cylinder. But what I want to do is I'm going to turn the steam on to out here. Just make sure that I've got this valve runs to all the other steam stuff. Okay, and it's on, so we want to turn it off. This runs to the other boiler, which that boiler's cut off right now, but this runs the Henry Ford engine and well, the other three engines. So that's cut off. Okay, we'll leave this off for a second. We're going to come out here and we're going to turn our main valve on slowly. This is putting pressure in the system. You can feel it once it gets past the valve, and then you can go ahead and go open up all the way. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this on just enough to get all the water to run out and that oil to run out that I leaked in it, which is okay, it happens. I can smell it too. I know the cylinder's oiled well. And then one of the reasons I'm doing this is to preheat everything, where we don't have any cold steel. Now the only bad part is water and electricity together. It's kind of rough. We'll cut that back just a little bit. All right. Camera fog up here. Let's cut this back down a little bit. Roll our engine over until we get it where we want it. Oh, that's where it was. See, it's already running. I didn't think I had it up that high. Alright, now we don't want to cut these completely off, but we do want to back them down a good way. We'll just run it slow here for a little bit. Turn our lubricator on. Be able to see it drip. There it is. Some really thick oil. Steam oil. Okay, so even with this off, and this completely turned off to where it can't make any power, this still has a little bit of voltage on it, and you can see it's a little bit off zero, but as I speed it up, it'll get a little bit more, and that's the residual voltage that's in the electromagnet, and that's why it's self-exciting. Now, it may take a minute when we turn it on and we go over with our rheostat for it to get power up, but you'll see what I mean. So, all right, what we're going to do now, I'm going to close these off a little bit more. I got a heck of a mess down there now. All right. All right, we're going to speed her on up some. Whew, got in the rain there. Let's get back around this stuff. Put this on where you see the voltage I was talking about. with that on. Start backing this off. I'm just going to keep backing it up. Alright. Alright, it's taking a minute, but it's just start building voltage in a second. Very good. Now I'm cutting that back with the rheostat. I didn't want it to go too high. We may have it going a little bit fast. Cut it back a little bit. Then we can cut it up a little bit. So we can vary the speed for the voltage. Daytime. So all of the lights are working anyway. So there you go. Well, sometimes things go wrong, if you can hear me. So I took it up to max pressure, which was of course only 100 psi, to test that pop-off valve, and I had a tube blow out. And the reason that I'm going to have problems with these tubes is the fact that it was used in a city and they didn't use the correct treatment for the water. And it's got a lot of scale buildup. So I'm going to continue to replace tubes as I need to. Probably not the best thing to do, but I can't afford to replace 136 tubes. So anyway, that's why I built the grate like I built it. As you can see, I took the fire out. I've got the steam pump running, keeping enough water in it to keep it from running low, because we don't want it to run low. That's why there's water. Because we're continuing to add water. We're down to 30 psi. We've got a little under half. So I'm going to let the steam pump continue to run until the pressure is gone. I think I'll get the water hose and put a little water in this tray here. We keep this tray around here just to pull the fire if we need to. So now, you know, we got a fire here, but we're not gaining any heat in the boiler. We're actually losing. So you got to be ready for an emergency. And I was definitely ready for this. No issues whatsoever. So we'll take care of the problem and go on. For anybody that's wondering, so I've got a little single cylinder Marsh. I still haven't done anything with the big one yet. This one works really well. I put rings in it. We're able to pump water and keep up with what's leaking out. That's pretty good. So this is almost like a bilge pump in a boat. You know, if you get a hole in it, you want to have enough bilge pump to take all the water out. Well, luckily, one tube is just terrible, and we can still keep up with the water. It's pretty good. All right, folks, pressure's gone. We still got some water leaking, so that's a good thing. That means we never got the water level that low. Not below the second tube anyway, so it's still leaking out. So that's going to be easy, because what we'll do is we'll go in above and take a tube above it out and take it out. The reason for that is you'll have to pull it out about 4 inches and cut on it, and 4 inches and cut on it. It takes forever and a lot of oxygen. or you can go in and cut it from the inside all the way around, and then go cut the other end, and then bring it out through this hole. It's kind of, you know, awkward to work with, but you can do it. And so we'll do the one above it, get it out this hole, and I've got a wall here, so I can only go about I think 5 foot or so. They're 6 foot long, so I might have to cut it in half, but it'd still be better than cutting it in pieces. I had to slice the other one when I done one that was low, and I don't even know which ones I've done now, because they all look the same now. But anyway, I'm going to get me a cleaner for this too. Burning pine and slabs, and I should have already cleaned it because it is pretty rough. And I won't let this happen again, or let it get that far on the cleaning part of it, because I've fired this boiler quite a few times. Probably fire it every, you know, couple times, or maybe every time just pull one end off, the other end off, and push it through. You know, it wouldn't be a problem to clean. And so we'll get some tubes on the way and go ahead and get them replaced. And, that won't be a problem. Get us a brush coming. And anyway, it could have been a lot worse. No big deal, really. Waiting on another fitting here for my injector. We're not using the injector right now. Like I said, I'm just using the steam pump. And so it's nice to have 2 ways doing it. Right now I've only got one, but it's a dependable way, and that's the good part. And got me some water and put that fire down, so that'll dry, or you know, dry up and cool down, and then when it comes time we'll just reburn it. And that's what we've done before. So no loss really. We're just trying to get ready for the Christmas lights I want to do this year at Christmas. So I need to go ahead and get things rolling. But anyway, one thing about it though, like I said, is these lights here, that strip light is LED and it works. I had one guy tell me that it depended on which polarity. Now I didn't turn it the other way to see maybe if I had it. I just happened to do it the right polarity. But anyway, it worked. So got a lot of videos I've done that I haven't edited yet and put on, so we'll go ahead and try to get this one on just as an update video. And I got a lot going on. Built a Camaro, working on a Camaro, and I'll show you more on it later, but I'll show you real quick what it looks like. And then it's just my mullet car, just an old ragged car, so not much to it. Alright, here's my old Camaro. Got to put a windshield in it. It's been sitting for about 20 years, but built an engine for it. We're doing a little more work to it, and 3 deuces, and like I said, I'll show you more on it later. Alright, appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, bye.